Hey there champs, Banone. In an interview in the MMA Hour, Francis Ngannou talks about his next fight with AJ and his rematch with the Gypsy King Tyson Fury. He also talks about Deontai Wilder losing to Parker and changing everything. And Francis Ngannou was never supposed to fight AJ. And we are gonna talk about that next. But before we get into that, if you guys are not subscribed, please punch and knock out that subscription button. That way you'll never see it again. And ding that notification bell. That way you'll never miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, let's get to the round. Ding ding. Alright champs, let's get started. And it was never supposed to be AJ versus Ngannou. The plans were always supposed to be Anthony Joshua versus Deontai Wilder. But Deontai Wilder ended up losing to Joseph Parker, and he ruined all the plans for the mega showdown with Anthony Joshua in Saudi Arabia for March 9th. And that contract was already signed, sealed, but not delivered. So Francis Ngannou stated that's when he got the call to fight Anthony Joshua. He obviously accepted the fight and thought it was a great opportunity. Francis Ngannou also stated that the Anthony Joshua fight was a lot easier to make than the Tyson Fury fight. I wonder if he's talking about the UFC and boxing combined, cause this is going to be only the second fight in boxing that he has ever made. So he only has one fight to compare in boxing. Maybe he had more difficult fights to make in the UFC. He said with the Tyson Fury fight, he had to negotiate everything from the room to the flight. I have never heard of that in negotiations. So as we all know, Francis Ngannou is new to the boxing world and he does not have a lot of experience in boxing. So he is still new and he is still learning, even though he comes from another contact sport, the UFC. But in the interview, he stated that he's already training in France and he did 6 rounds. When his team saw him sparring, they told him he looked a lot more comfortable in the boxing ring now. He says that was his first time sparring in a while and he actually knows he's not that great yet. He also stated he believes that he can keep competing in the highest level. I believe that is good to start, but he is gonna have to start doing more rounds. That's if he wants to keep learning the sport and getting better. I remember when I was in boxing, the boxers who would hog the ring were the boxers who had upcoming fights. These guys would do 12 to 15 rounds, and we were not allowed to do more than 3 or 4 rounds with them, and then they'll send somebody fresh with the same style to do another 3 or 4 rounds with them. At my gym, they would rarely put him in there with the same fighter for all 12 to 15 rounds. He also stated after the Fury fight, it changed his life completely. He stated when he used to go out, he always had a crowd of fans with him. But after the Fury fight, he said the crowd was way too big and he could not keep up with the crowd and he actually had to run because there was too many fans. He stated his celebrity status is another level now. Also, a lot of those fans believe that he actually beat Tyson Fury. I am not one of them. I think he did very well, but I think Tyson Fury beat him in points. I believe Tyson Fury landed more cleaner punches. But I got nothing for love and respect for Francis Ngannou. He pulled up a hell of a performance. And not just that, that was his first pro fight in boxing. And it was against the biggest, baddest man on the planet. The undefeated 6'9", 300-pound Tyson Fury. Francis Ngannou also states before Fury and Usyk was announced, he had it in his contract that he would have a rematch with Tyson Fury, but not before the Fury and the Usyk fight. And not just that, after the rematch, because Usyk and Fury have a rematch clause. So Tyson versus Usyk will happen first, then the rematch with Tyson and Usyk, then the rematch with Ngannou. He also stated if Wilder would have beaten Joseph Parker, then it would have been Anthony Joshua versus Deontai Wilder. And if they would have fought, he would have never have fought Anthony Joshua. He would have just waited to fight Tyson Fury. But he states that he is glad that the opportunity came with Anthony Joshua while he waits for Tyson Fury. That is great. 2 big deserving paydays for Ngannou. He also states that the rumors between him and Deontai Wilder fighting in the UFC and UFC rules was real. If I was Deontai Wilder, I would never take that fight. I seen Deontai Wilder do a roundhouse kick and he almost fell. And the roundhouse kick looked very weak. Man, Ngannou will destroy Wilder in the UFC. Deontai Wilder doesn't even have a puncher's chance in the UFC. Wilder will be cooked food for the Predator. Francis Ngannou was asked if he made more money with the Anthony Joshua fight than he did with the Tyson Fury fight. He didn't answer with any type of number. He just says, "Please don't expose me. They will come after me." He states, "If I say the number, it's just not good for business." He just answers like this, "Don't worry about it. They took really good care of me." I don't think he got paid in America, so I don't think it's the IRS. Maybe something like that in their state. He also does state that he believes Anthony Joshua will prepare very well for him because of the performance that he put with Tyson Fury. But he also adds, "I know it was my first pro fight and I'm only gonna get better by then." I really don't believe he has a lot of time to get that much better. And Anthony Joshua is a very completely different fighter, so this fight will be completely different. To me, this fight should be labeled the fight of the bodybuilders. And you can never count out a guy like Ngannou. This guy has a solid chin and he has the hardest punching in boxing history. So I'm sure AJ will not go in there reckless and just trying to trade with Ngannou. He also states that he is going to have the same training camp for Anthony Joshua as he did with Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Eddie Hearn also states, "Respect for Ngannou, but it's going to be a very easy fight for Anthony Joshua." And Ngannou responds back and says, "I know Anthony Joshua does not have a chin and I want to test it. He has been knocked out by Andy Ruiz and he's been hurt by Klitschko." He also states if he lands the same punch that he did on Fury, that AJ will not get up. He says he wants to test that chinny chin chin. But Ngannou also stated that he does not care about becoming champion. He said that he really wants Fury again and he does not want to get holed up with the mandatories that the belt comes with. He does not want to be tied up to any fight and wants the freedom to fight whoever he wants. He states if the title is on the line with no strings attached, then he'll take the fight. He really wants it more for decorating his house, and he really doesn't care about becoming a champion. But who do you guys think will win? Anthony AJ Joshua or Francis the Predator Ngannou? Comment below and I'll write to everyone back. If you guys like the show, like, share the video, subscribe, and that's it from me, guys. I gotta roll.